But I do think that, honestly, this has been a map in which Paravision have actually looked pretty good on. I feel like there are some individuals who have really stepped up in some pretty big ways. So I'm a little concerned, Scriv, I think is probably the main point I'm trying to build here. I don't know, right, where we're at if I have the belief just yet.
Yeah, this is true. I think, both teams really left a lot to be desired. Some very, very kind of shaky rounds, shaky plays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of really silly clutches, more so at the end of the game. The start of the game, but there were a few towards the end of the game as well. So, yeah, it's hard to predict which way we're going to lean. I think this is definitely a matchup, however, where kind of bouncing back and staying present, not getting annoyed and whatnot is
Agreed.
Going to be quite difficult for both of these teams, but namely Nine Pandas because of how that previous map finished, right? And the fact they were in such a good, I think you would say, winnable position. Maybe not 100% has to be won every single time, but definitely a low percentage chance of losing that, and definitely losing it in the regulation as well, not even taking it to overtime in the end there. So, they will be very disappointed, and I think that could have a pretty dire effect here, even though this is the map that you were meant to be waiting for. I think they still could be in a pretty bad spot if they're not careful.
I agree. I think there's a real world in which things could get, just a little dicey, or at least dicey enough in which, things could be potentially quite funky. We'll have to see, of course. You never really know, but I think ultimately Nine Pandas, it felt like they just lost a lot of control when they were in a good spot, and I think for them, they're going to come in towards this. There's a real world and just ever slightly tilted, being like, my God, like we should have taken that. We should be going into our own map pick, feeling and looking quite comfortable, but we're not, right? And we've now got to try and work from quite a dire spot, all things considered. And I think that can be quite difficult to get going. So, yeah, I think worrying is probably the main point that we bring up, just because of how things actually really felt. It was difficult. It was tough to watch, and we need to see more of the Nine Pandas to convince us they've got great ideas to kind of get back into this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think it is going to be pretty dire here, but I don't know. I do like the way that, some of the individuals were looking. It's just a shame that they couldn't close it out, but Alv looked pretty good, especially up against the likes of James.
It's true.
Result as well, pretty impressive. So, I think that they definitely do have the pieces on the Nine Pandas side. It's